Hello and welcome to Owlerton Stadium in Sheffield for the second leg of this grand final between the Sheffield Tigers and the Ipswich Witches. So it all comes down to this. Tonight, one of these two captains will lift this coveted trophy and be crowned the Sports Insure Premiership champions of 2023. And after the first leg encounter a couple of nights ago in Vauxhall, you would say it's advantage Witches.
Here we go then, first race of the evening. Green light is on, tapes up and we're underway. They go roaring into the first quarter. It's tight, Robert Lambert and Emilside Putinov. Tapes up, what a reaction from King. Absolutely fabulous, nails it into the first corner. The Ipswich Witches have hit the front here with sensational start. Big 5-1. Doyle's made a fabulous start from gate number 1. No, excuse me, it's Hume. Oh, Hume's made a great start. And Doyle has just clouted him in the first corner. Great reaction from both of the Sheffield Tigers. They fire themselves into the front. Lambert's round the outside. Howarth made a super start as well on the inside gate to the last lap in front. Lambert wins the race very comfortably indeed. Big response from the Tigers. Number 11, what a start from Doyle. Fabulous reaction away from the tapes. He gets to the first corner in front. Lambert's come through into second place with Carl Howard.
I think we want a bigger lead like we did with Bellevue, and I might stay at home next time, mate, and they'd want me to come here and score more points. But the boys are working so hard. You can see we're all helping each other out. We're a good team spirit, and hopefully we can get there in the end.
Brilliant start from Danny King on the inside, absolutely. Jeff Rappel, he forces his way into the first corner, tapes her up, and I tell you what, Lambert just missed that. Saifutinov gets there, Doyle's alongside him. What a result this would be for the home team. Unbelievable that. Now Doyle and Saifutinov locked together. Lambert's back in third place. Doyle's made a smashing start off the inside gate. Saifutinov missed it. He chops back to the inside. Lambert's being pushed very wide. Here they come up the inside now. Saifutinov joined. Oh, he's got a little bit out of shape. Brilliant first lap from Emil Saifutinov, who missed the start. Looking set to finish the night on a 5-1 and remain unbeaten throughout the evening. Ipswich fans are living. What a night that is, and what a turnaround in the last 8 races. It really has been a meeting of two halves for the home team.
18-point advantage. Ipswich Witches very much in the driving seat. Kelvin Tatum joins us now. Kelv, let's capture the story of these two teams and how they even made it to this point. And starting with Ipswich Witches, because it's quite a story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable journey, hasn't it, for the Witches? You know, they had injury and illness prior to the season beginning. They were indifferent at the early stages of the season. Their results were not stacking up particularly well, but we were lucky enough to be there at the right place at the right time, weren't we, at Leicester? Yeah,
we were in Leicester in July, and Leicester had actually been on a winning streak, but Ipswich beat them, and convincingly so, and that just created a turn of fortune for Ipswich and the reverse for Leicester.
Absolutely. Leicester actually spiralled down the league. They were looking so strong at that stage, but this particular evening, the Ipswich Witches just got their season on track and just got on a roll and just kept winning for fun after that.
And they did everything that they could possibly do, and then it was a matter of watching on the sidelines.
Absolutely. This was out of their hands, but, you know, Peterborough did a wonderful favour for the Witches by beating by 24 points. I mean, that aggregate point. So, real drama, and that allowed the Witches through into the playoffs. You couldn't have predicted that.
Into the playoffs, and then what a semi-final it was at the National Speedway Stadium. A nail-biter.
Well, this is the race of the decade. I mean, this was just an incredible speedway race. You know, they all led it. They were all at the back. You just couldn't take your eyes off it. But Doyle and Saifutinov coming through in fine style. It was a sensational race.
And then they were unbeaten, those two as well. They were just incredible, but a brilliant partnership, dynamic duo.
They are the dynamic duo, and when you can put that down in your programme, particularly those big races, it's a team manager's dream, and they produced the goods, and as I say, Tuesday night went their way.
Sheffield, on the other hand, their story, well, really, it's been about injuries, hasn't it, mainly?
Yeah, you know, they've lost 3 big hitters, you know, Jack Holder, of course, in the Speedway World Cup, then Ty Woffenden coming back into the league, eye-catching signing. He then hurts himself in Cardiff. Tobias Mujalak just a week or 2 later. So it's been an attritional season for the Sheffield Tigers, but credit to them, their patch-up team has kept battling away here, and in the first leg of the semi-final, number 2 at Monmore Green, 10-point victory. Couldn't believe it.
No, and then they were an absolute roll, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think Wolves may have flattered them a little bit, but they certainly, well, they're not without belief tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the gang and the band, if you like, are back together tonight. Scotty was with us, and he is chatting to the team managers.
Simon said you've got a big points haul to come back, but you've been dominant at home. How important is that for you and the boys?
Well, I think, you know, Sheffield in general is a tough place to come to. It's a fast race track and one that we ride very, very well. So, yeah, we've got a bit of a patched up team, but Robert showed his liking for Sheffield again when we were out in the semi-final. Bombers showed his liking for this place on numerous occasions this season. He's been a handful, actually. So we've put together the team that we think is going to give it our best shot. We know we're up against it. We know that we've got a big job to do, but we'll give it our best shot.
Richie Hawkins, you've got a big lead. The Witches haven't won a title for 25 years. The motivation must be pretty good in the camp.
Yeah, everyone's feeling good. They're quite focused. I think, yes, it's a big lead, but the word was, right, we've got a chance now. That's what all the boys said, which I was quite pleased about because they certainly weren't getting comfortable. Sheffield's a place they can pull 18 points easy back, and we see in the semi-final with Bellevue, they got on a roll. So we got to stop that happening.
And how much does that inspire you, the fact that you boys, under pressure, managed to turn it around and come into the final against Bellevue in the semi-final?
Well, yeah, and look, we've been under pressure since about May. So, and the boys, every time their back's been against the wall, they've stepped it up, and we've got to this point, which, like, you wouldn't believe no one would have given us a shot in June, sort of, for this. So, yeah, they're focused. They're led from the top by, you know, you couldn't have asked anyone better to lead as their top 2, well, the top 3. So, yeah, we'll big night, and we'll see what we can do.
It is a huge night, and for both of those 2 managers. Simon Stead, talking about the patched-up side, got Chris Harris in, and we know that Bomber is an absolute playoff king.
Yeah, he's a specialist at this time of the year. You know, he's done it on several occasions. He rode brilliantly for the Witches in the semi-final. I'm expecting a strong performance from Chris Harris once again. He never knows when he's beat, does he?
Well, Sheffield have got to just come out with that kind of attitude. They need to come out firing, don't they?
All guns blazing. They need to get off to a very fast start. If they can do that and close the gap down to single digits by the midway point tonight, then I think it'll be all on. But they do have to start well.
They have to start well. There's such a good atmosphere here at Owlerton. Let's rejoin Scotty now. He's talking to the captains.
Yeah, thanks, Abby. On the most important coin toss of the year, I'm going to come to Sheffield captain Kyle Howarth first. Kyle, Sheffield haven't won the league title in the top flight. You came so close last year. How big a motivator is that for you guys?
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, like I said, last year was a tough pill to swallow. We come so close, so we want to go one better this year.
So big points lead, you have to pull back, but you've been very dominant at home. Also, you've raced against these guys in the Knockout Cup. I know it didn't go your way, but does that hold any advantages for you guys?
Look, we just come. We know the track. We know what we've got to do. We've raced against these guys, and we've had some really good scores against them in the league match. Obviously, the KO Cup didn't go our way, but that happened, and today's a new day. And like I said, we want to do what the previous scores we did at the start of the season.
Thanks, Carl. Ipswich captain Danny King, the Witches haven't won this title for 25 years. You've been part of the Ipswich squad for a number of years. How much does it mean to you and the Ipswich camp to do the business tonight?
It's huge. It's you know, it's everyone involved. It's not just the club, it's the fans, it's the town, and it's going to mean so much. You know, we've come a long way, and we've had a good start to this playoff, and you know, we really want to get it over the line.
Well, let's get it over the line. Let's get the coin toss done. I'm going to get you to call Danny. I'm going to flip it. Whoops. We'll have another go. Danny calls heads, and it comes down heads. Danny, what's it going to be?
We'll take 1 and 3 in Heat 1.
Okay, so you have it. The Witches pick 1 and 3 in Heat 1. Back to you, Abby.
Scotty, thank you so much. Well, I can see around the place and the Ipswich fans have come en masse, and we know how good the Sheffield supporters are. They are always in full voice. Well, earlier we've had a lot of rain here. It hasn't been hard, thank goodness. It's been quite light rain, but we sent Calvin out earlier to suss out the track.
Second leg of the grand final. We're in South Yorkshire here at Owlerton Speedway. And I've got to say, what a picture the track does look. It's come back together really nicely. Graham, the curator here, has done a marvellous job. When we were racing here last week, it really was throwing it down, and he's worked awfully hard. On the inside of turn number 4 here, you can see the dirtometer going in a decent amount. So a good level of grip on the inside, and I expect early doors riders to really focus on that inside line. The inside will be the fastest line. As we come across to the middle of the track, if I just scrape the dirtometer this time, you can just see that top layer of about 10 to 15 millimetres, and it's pretty even right across the track. Right out here on the outside as well, they haven't really dug into it. They've just literally spread the material evenly across the track. So once again, a similar amount of material here. The track will evolve as the evening goes on. I've had a good look at the start line as well, and there are some discrepancies there. The inside gate is significantly softer than gates 2 and 3. Gate number 4 has one rut, which could give you some impetus as you charge towards the first corner. Ipswich Witches are 18 points up. They had a marvellous result, of course, on Tuesday night. There's a lot of work to be done for the Tigers tonight. They were in the final. They got beaten and pipped to the post by the Bellevue Aces last year. They're desperate to get back into the action here tonight. It's going to be a thriller, but the Ipswich Witches are in the driving seat.
Calvin, thank you. We really hope it's a thriller tonight. Everyone is on tenterhooks. It is the grand final after all, and we've had an incredible season. The riders are ready for the parade, so I'll hand you over to Calvin Tatum.
Thank you very much, Abby. What a night in prospect here at Owlerton. The weather has behaved so far. We'll take a look at the visitors and young Joe Thompson coming out as their rising star. They've had a bit of a turnover of riders at that particular position. They've had some injuries there. His brother actually was riding at some point, but he's out injured. Daniel Hume, who was off the bike a few times on Tuesday, but you can't fault his effort. There's no doubt that he puts his best foot forward, maybe just trying a little too hard on Tuesday, but nonetheless he came in with some valuable points, and certainly this man did. Jason Doyle, what a night he had. He was in sparkling form. Great to see him on his return. Did the business. Certainly he and Cy Futenhoff were unbeaten. Keenan Rue also coming through with some valuable points, the Australian who rides at number 4 tonight. Danny King is the captain. He's up next, and he is my man to watch. Danny has been in terrific form of late, and that's great to see, and he did another great job on Tuesday. He doesn't mind big fast tracks either. Sense that he'll be looking for a really strong performance tonight. Eric Riss, who had not a lot of points on Tuesday, but they were really crucial ones because he was picking up those vital third places on a regular basis, which gave them some heat advantages. So the German certainly did his job. And of course the top man, so much been spoken about this year, Emil Cy Futenhoff really has been outstanding throughout the season. Once again, he was another unbeaten rider on Tuesday night. They are 18 points up. The Ipswich Witches, the Knockout Cup victors as well, which they got the better of the Sheffield Tigers there. So a big ask, and we see Jason Edwards, who won heat number 8 in fine style on Tuesday night. He'll need to do more of that, the same here tonight. Of course, relatively recent signing in truth for the Sheffield Tigers, but is enjoying his period of time here in South Yorkshire. Jai Etheridge coming in, the Australian. Now, he rode for Bellevue Aces last year and won the title. He's not riding in the Premiership this year. He rides for the Berwick Bandits in 2023, but has ridden here recently for the Tigers and picked up 7 points. So he will be looking to do something similar tonight. They will need all guns blazing. My rider to watch is Chris Harris. Harris is a specialist at this time of year. He knows how to win the league championship. He guessed tonight, rides at number 5, did a marvellous job for the Witches in the semi-finals. I'm expecting something similar tonight. Josh Pickering, who rode his heart out on Tuesday, another rider very similar to Chris Harris, who really just gives everything every time he comes out on track. A mid-season signing, of course, from the Kings Lynn Stars. Josh Pickering going along very nicely. Chris Holder, who will be looking to bounce back after a disappointing evening in Vauxhall Heath and Ipswich. He's been terrific. He was very good in the semi-final when it was lashing down with rain here against Wolverhampton. Really rode very cleverly indeed. So Holder looking for a big performance tonight. Carl Howarth, as I say, they've got a team of tries. Howarth is another one of those. The captain, been here for some considerable time now. Certainly is part of the furniture in this part of the world. Proud guy, leads from the front, wears his heart on his sleeve. Carl Howarth rides at number 2. And of course, riding at number 1 is Robert Lambert, who was a touch frustrated at the conclusion of Tuesday night's match, but he is a genuine world-class rider, no doubt about that. He did a brilliant job for the Bellevue Aces last year, helping them to the league title. Can he do that here tonight for the Sheffield Tigers? What a night in prospect it is. They are your 2 teams, and they are going to go head-to-head very shortly indeed. Fabulous crowd in here, superb atmosphere. And while we're waiting for heat number 1, we'll pop back down to Abby in the pits.
It really is a fantastic atmosphere. It is so loud just behind us. Loads of air horns, people just going absolutely wild. This is the last time, well, this season, of course, that I'll be asking you to get on social media and join the Speedway conversation. The hashtag tonight, of course, is SheIps, and because Scott Nichols is back, any questions that you've got for Scott, then I'll ask him those later on the programme. It will be on Discovery Plus. But Heat 1 of this second leg of the Grand Final is up next. We're with the team manager of Ipswich Witches, Richie Hawkins. Richie, it all comes down to this, but for the final leg of a grand final after what has been an incredible story to get here, you've got an 18-point advantage.
Yeah, it's a good lead. Everything went well Tuesday, so yeah, everything's gone well for us the last 2 months. So if we carry on one more night now, we've come through a lot to be here. Seems very focused still. I was really pleased after Tuesday. They wasn't too carried away. Everyone straight away, like the word was, yeah, right, we've given ourselves a chance. So I was pleased with that because they're still very focused. And yeah, anything can happen though tonight. So anything can happen in speedway racing, and I'm sure it will. So yeah, we just need to be there still at the end.
What was the communication like from Tuesday night until now?
Yeah, obviously we had some worries with Jason and Danyan with his fitness, and Eric was a bit off colour on Tuesday as well. So yeah, kind of just want them all fit. But like I say, everyone was sort of more in a mood of, right, we've given ourselves a chance, we've got a shot. So yeah, we've come a long way to give ourselves that shot, and that's theirs to take.
The momentum is definitely on your side, and it's ironically, it's a repeat fixture in terms of the point difference of what we had in the semi-final. But it went down to the last heat then. You're going to want to avoid that tonight.
Yeah, I'd love to get it done early, but Sheffield are going to be good. They're up for it. They are good round here, and if they can get on a roll like Bellevue did, then anything can happen. So we got to stop that happening. We can start again like we did well in the semi. We started so well at Bellevue, then points proved crucial. Yeah, and just stop them getting on a roll, and we'll be all right.
So you said the mood at the moment, people just seem focused. We're moments away from going racing. How would you summarise it now?
Yeah, I think they're a very good bunch. We've not been too carried away all year, and you can see, I think they just focused on the job in hand. Everyone gets on really well. But Danyan wrote 2 bikes off on Tuesday, and we've had, I think Eric's bought bits of a bike for him, Danny's team's bought a bike for him, Doyley's bought him an engine. So we've all clubbed together. Everyone's rushing around to get him his bikes fixed, so to make him geared up and ready for tonight. So really pleased with how the whole team mixes in. The mechanics, everyone's teams, it's like one big crew even though they're individual teams. So yeah, really happy with that, and you know, as a big team we want to win it tonight for everyone.
That just really says so much though about the Witches, and the fact that you've got, you know, the same group of lads more or less that were right there at the start, and you've stayed with them, and that loyalty and the fact that they are just all chipping in to help out Danyan. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, and I think the determination and the spirit, and everyone gets on well, and it's something we obviously focus a lot on in the winter of getting the right blend of riders. And I think in previous years we've maybe been one rider out and it can, or two, and it kind of like can bring everything down. But this year certainly all 7, I can't criticise them at all with that. And Joe's come out, he started the season, found it hard, come out the team, and it's, to be fair, like his brother was in and he was doing really well, and we've lost him. But there is a kind of it's nice to have Joe back, and he's gone into the championship, been doing really well, and he's got a shot again. So yeah, it's nice to have the same 1 to 7 as we started with. Yeah.
And you seem pretty calm, Richie.
Yeah, I'm always quite relaxed, but yeah, it's
not always.
No, it's early, but yeah, we you know, it's Speedway. What will be. But yeah, we've got a good chance, and I think it's my 3rd playoff final now as manager, and I think this is obviously the best shot we've had of winning. So we'll see.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Owlerton. Before we crack on with the racing here, a quick reminder of the other sport that is available for you. Includes snooker, the Home Nation Series. English Open is on Eurosport 1 live now. The Mountain Bike World Cup there in the Mount Santan, and you can enjoy that tomorrow on Eurosport 2, 9:15. And then the Motocross of Nations, the World Championship, that's on Sunday at midday, also on Eurosport 2. But here in Sheffield, it is time for Heat 1. I've already lost my voice of this second leg of the Grand Final between the Sheffield Tigers and the Ipswich Witches. Your commentating duo tonight, Ollie Allen first, Calvin Tatum.
Thank you very much indeed, Abby. What a night it is. Great to have Ollie alongside me once again. And Ollie, brilliant performance from the Ipswich Witches. Big job for the Sheffield Tigers tonight.
Yeah, fantastic job by Ipswich on Tuesday night. And Sheffield have really got an uphill task tonight. They need to start strong.
They do indeed. The rain has just come back. It drizzled a little bit earlier on, but it is just raining right now. Line up for heat number 1. Eric Riss will go from the inside in the yellow helmet colour. Carl Howarth comes out of gate number 2 in blue. Emil Saifutinov unbeaten on Tuesday night. Gate number 3 in white, and Robert Lambert off the outside in red. This is how they started at Ipswich on Tuesday night. The Ipswich Witches have won the coin toss. They'll go from gates 1 and 3. That will mean that the home team will have choice in heat 15. Robert Lambert frustrated after Tuesday night, Ollie, looking for a really big night like his team, like he needs to lead from the front in the opening race.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's so important that Sheffield start off strong. If they can start off with a couple of 5-1s, it gives the team hope, it gives them a bit of confidence, and we'll have a match on our hands. Can't
disagree. It is an important stage. We are at the halfway stage. Chris Louis on the left, Richie Hawkins on the right. In the middle, Jason Doyle. They enjoyed a terrific night. What a journey it's been for the Ipswich Witches. They were looking very unlikely to even make the playoffs. They've won the Knockout Cup against the Tigers just a few short weeks ago. They are in the driving seat as we come into the second leg of the Grand Final. 15 races to go at a minimum, might be 16 if it's all square. Here we go, underway into the first corner. Look at Lambert. Lambert has made a superb start from the outside gate, coming through into second place is Eric Riss. And surprise here, big surprise with Emil Saifutinov at the back. But this is what the home team, Lambert is out in front, going great guns.
Yeah, great start there from Robert Lambert from gate 4. Exactly what Sheffield needed. Carl Howard looking good in third place. He's starting to put a little bit of pressure onto Eric Riss in second.
Indeed he is, but the inside seems to be where you are. Emil Saifutinov is there. He's searching for a room now. He gets up the inside. Howarth has gone down. What's their contact? Howarth did just drift a little bit wide. The race continues. No red lights on now. The race is completed. No, not quite. The red lights have got to come on now. He's up against the fence.
Yeah, big move there from Emil Saifutinov. I mean, Kyle drifted off the curb, I think, to try and look to pass Eric, and Emil wasted no time at all and diving up the inside, and Kyle came down.
He had to do it. it was a small mistake there from Howarth. May just have got a little impatient behind Eric Riss. Eric Riss was kind of being a handbrake on the race. And greasy conditions, you can see where the rain has already made an impact. Talk us through this one, Ollie.
Yeah, you can see Carl tried a wider line into turn 1 and overturned a little bit. And as soon as the gap was there, Emma was quick to go in. And here we see again. You see Kyle drifts out wide. He locks up. Emil comes up the inside, and is there contact? Possibly a tiny bit of contact there. Normally, when the referee waits and waits like that to put the red light on, it normally means the guy that's gone down is out. So we'll have to wait and see.
So it is an exclusion. You're right, Ollie. It's an exclusion for Carl Howarth. The result is confirmed. Robert Lambert will win the race. It's a 3-all, and in truth, that's a disappointment for the home team when they had a 4-2 on the cards there. So disappointment for Carl Howarth and the Sheffield Tigers in heat number 1, but it's 3-all, and the 18-point lead on aggregate is retained after the opening race of the evening. There we can see it now. Heat number 1, Robert Lambert out in front, 3 points for him. Eric Riss back in second place, 2 points. Emil Saifutinov coming through into third place, and Carl Howarth biting the mud in turns 1 and 2. We'll see the race, hope. So,
Chris, tense night already, and the rain's coming down as well.
Yeah, just to make it even worse. Yeah, look, it's a big night. It's a big night for both teams. You know, we know that this Sheffield team is going to be strong around here, so we've got to keep battling away.
Thank you for chatting. Back to you, Calv.
Cheers, Abby. Riders all up at tapes. We're going to rattle through this now with the weather just turning against us. The line-up for heat number 2 is Jai Etheridge in red off the inside gate, Daniel Hume off for gate number 2 in white, Jason Edwards out of gate number 3 in blue, and Joe Thompson off the outside in yellow. And Ollie, these are crucial moments in the context of the championship. The rain is coming down. We saw this last week. It's such a shame. It will make it tough out there. It will make starting at an absolute premium.
Absolutely, yeah. Starts to be so important. If you're behind and the weather's like this, there'll be so much roost on your goggles. It'll be hard to see. It'll be hard to race. So yeah, like you say, starts are key.
Well, indeed. We saw Robert Lambert made a fabulous start from gate number 4 in the first race. Just having a look at the start line, there was a really good rut out there, but gate 1 also looked very useful indeed. I think the middle 2 gates, particularly gate number 3, rock hard, so there's a discrepancy there. Jai Etheridge and Jason Edwards for the home team here of gates 1 and 3 this time. They've got to take advantage. Here we go, tapes are up. Underway into the first corner. Inside gate has worked a treat there. Jai Etheridge coming through nicely there with Jason Edwards following him through as well. 5-1 on the cards here, maximum score for the home team. They need this, they need a lot of this, because there's no question they've got to eke back into the 18-point lead from Tuesday night that the Ipswich Witches have got. Back in third place with the white helmet colour is Daniel Hume. This is what the Tigers want.
Yeah, perfect start there for the Sheffield boys. Rain's coming down heavier now. It's going to make overtaking very difficult. You can see the riders pulling tear-offs. The riders are moving wider now out into that dirt, trying to find some extra grip on the outside.
Etheridge coming in as a guest here, doing a great job in heat number 2. Smashing start, as I say, he picked up 7 points on his previous visit just about a month ago. So he's got experience of riding around here at Owlerton, and Jason Edwards making a smart move in the first corner. One last turn to go through that turns 3 and 4, and this time, this is the result the Sheffield Tigers are needing. They pick up a 5-1 in heat number 2, reducing the deficit. Great ride from Etheridge and Edwards there. Daniel Hume back in third place, but for those two lads in deteriorating conditions, not really what you want for a grand final. But unfortunately, it's teased us all afternoon. There's been some drizzle around, but it's arrived just as we get underway. Result then for heat number 2. About result. So the result then of heat number 2 is Etheridge out in front, 3 points for him. Edwards back in second place, 2 points. Hume, 1 point for him, and Joe Thompson failing to score. Big result that for the Sheffield Tigers, Ollie.
Yeah, huge result, just what they needed. They need to start clawing back at that gap, and you know they're doing that. could have been better if it wasn't for Kyle's little mistake. But here we go, heat number 3.
Heat number 3 indeed. Danny King will go from the inside in the white helmet colour. Josh Pickering off gate number 2 in blue. Keenan Rue over to gate number 3 in yellow, and Chris Holder off the outside in red helmet colour. That 5-1 means there's just 14 points in it now between the two teams. 8 points to 4 on the night, but the aggregate score is the all-important one right now. 44 points to 58 as it stands after 2 races. Can they keep it going, the Tigers? The rain is coming down. Grand final number 2, and the tapes are up. And look at that from Holder. Smashing start from him. Pickering's there in 3rd place. Early doors with Danny King sniffing around in 2nd place, trying to find a way through. Holder was disappointing on Tuesday night, but he's made a terrific start here. He's out in front. The Tigers are looking for more points here.
Yeah, Tigers looking good here on a 4-2. You can see Josh Pickering, he's putting pressure on Danny King in 2nd. A 5-1 here would be a massive result if he can get past.
Working hard, visibility is not ideal, far from it. It's slippery, it's slick, the rain coming down. Holder looking fabulous out in front. Got to say, the track is riding absolutely sensational considering the conditions out there. Here we go then, into the last lap, and out in front, Holder, the former world champion, riding like a champion here. Round the outside, Pickering trying so very hard to get the better of the captain of the Witches, Danny King. King's done enough here. Going to be a damage limitation, but it's a 4-2 and they're closing in. Brilliant stuff again. Should have been a heat advantage in heat number 1 in truth, but Howarth just got it wrong, slipped off the bike. But a 5-1 and a 4-2, and that lead is down to 12 now, and it's just what they needed. They need to keep this going, and we will have some grand final for you, everybody. Result of heat number 3 for you. Chris Holder, smash and ride, 3 points out in front. Danny King back in 2nd place, 2 points. Josh Pickering back in 3rd place, 1 point for him, and Keenan Rue misses out in heat number 3. Fabulous ride from Chris Holder. That's making up for his disappointment on Tuesday.
Yeah, looked like a new man there. Great start from gate 4. You called it, gate 4 did look good before the match, and that's 2 fantastic starts we've seen from gate 4. And yeah, Chris made the start, rode cleverly, and checked out for the win.
Once he hit the front, he went further and further away. There was a good battle for 2nd place with Pickering early doors, pushing King really hard, but once the race settled down, it was all about 2nd and 3rd. But right now, out in front, Holder looked terrific, and he'll be much happier about things. But it's just 12 points between the two teams now, and this is turning out to be quite some grand final at the early stages. Heat number 4, the line-up, Jason Doyle off the inside. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong, excuse me. Apologies for that. So Daniel Hume is the reserve rider coming in here in the yellow helmet colour. Jai Etheridge coming out of gate number 2 in blue. Gate number 3 in white is Jason Doyle. He was in the race twice there for a minute. He had his twin alongside him, but Chris Harris off the outside in the red helmet colour. Here we go. Heat number 4, tapes up. Hume's made a good jump on the inside. He just about gets there. Etheridge is very much in the action as well. Look at Harris around the outside with Doyle hanging in the back, but look at this. Chris Harris coming through in sensational style down the back straight. Etheridge hanging on in 2nd place, but Doyle's now going to come up the inside.
Oh, big dive bomb there from Doyle into 2nd. Great start though from the Sheffield pair. Etheridge made a great start from the inside, allowed his teammate Harris to come round the outside. Now Doyle's back into 2nd and reducing the Tigers to a 4-2.
Brilliant effort from Jason Doyle in difficult circumstances, but Harris once again being a real specialist in the playoffs. As a guest, is doing a terrific job there out in front. Gate number 3 is just not working. We've seen both Emil Seifutinov and Jason Doyle struggling out of gate number 3. They both had it in their opening rides. Doyle is pushing on hard, but Harris has got it all covered. But you've got to say that the Sheffield Tigers are delivering here this evening. This is their 3rd consecutive heat advantage, and another 4-2. And that lead on aggregate is closing in. They're closing in. They've taken 8 points off of the Witches in the first 4 races, and I would suggest that Simon Stead will be very satisfied with that. And that man, well, Chris Harris, what a performer he is. And he is once again producing the business here. Look at that weather. Not ideal, I tell you what. Fantastic crowd, and track still behaving impeccably out there. So the result of heat number 4 is Chris Harris wins the race, 3 points for him. Doyle, second place, and 2 points for him. Joy Etheridge back in third, and Daniel Hume misses out in heat number 4. Good race this, and a hard charging ride from Doyle, and it needed to be.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he needed to get something back there for the Witches. You see there, Chris Harris, he just about gets there from gate 4, and then classic Chris Harris move around the outside, swoops into the lead. And to be fair, his teammate did a good job. He knew Chris was there. He allowed room for him on the back straight, and that set Chris up for the win.
Yeah, it did indeed. As I say, this was brave from Harris. 3 abreast coming out of turn 2, but he had his wheels in line. He was in the right place. Oh, look at Doyle clouting the fence
Doyle
there.
clips the fence on the back straight.
He does indeed, but a smart move from him to come through in the second place to keep it just to the 4-2. But as I say, the aggregate score now is just 10 points in it. That man, partly responsible for it, for winning his first raid in heat number 4. After the 3-all in heat number 1, it's been one-way traffic for the home team, just what they were looking for. Let's get down to Abby now in the pits.
Thank you. Well, the energy in the pits is really quite something, and it is the Tigers that have come out flying. We're going to crack on with the action because of the rain, so stay with us here. We have got heat 5 coming up. I've managed to grab Simon Stead before we go racing, so thank you for that, because I'm sure it's nerve-wracking time, Steady, because, look, it's a big order tonight in terms of 18 points that you've got to make up, but you'll have the crowd. I know the boys will be up for it, and I'm sure you are too.
Yeah, exactly that, Abby, and we've been dominant here this year. We've had some fabulous displays. I know all the boys can do a good job here. And that's what we've got to focus on. We can't worry too much about what's been and gone. Thursday's a new day, and we need to put a performance in. If we all ride to our capabilities, then we can. I still believe we can do it, and so do the lads.
So I know we don't want to concentrate on the past, but if we take some of the good stuff from the past, you have beaten teams by 18 points or more on multiple occasions. Does that just knowledge, does that add a little bit of extra confidence to the guys?
Well, I think, yeah, of course it inspires confidence because we have done it before. But I think, in general, we know how good we are here. It's a tough place to come and a tough place to ride. I know we've seen Emil come here and be fabulous this season. So we know we're going to have our work cut out. But if 7 riders give me their best shot tonight, I'll be proud of them. And let's just hope we've got enough in the tank.
So what's the communication been from that Tuesday night in Ipswich to now?
It's been great, actually. Lads are in good spirits. They were obviously disappointed about Monday. They felt a few of the decisions perhaps didn't go our way. We didn't quite get the rub of the green in that respect. But everybody will have their own opinions on that. And like we said, they were quite quick to put it to bed. And concentrate on what we had to do tonight, because we know what we've got to do. If we beat them by more than 18, then we'll be crowned champions, and if we don't, we won't. May the best team win. I think Ipswich have done fabulously well. They've done really, really good. They're knockout cup champions already, so full respect to them and what they've done. But yeah, we're here to make it really difficult, and hopefully we can turn it around.
12 months ago, just pipped to the post, and you feel like Sheffield, is this the time where they get? Well, you're lifting the trophies, champagne has been sprayed, and it will be the first time in top flight history.
Well, I'd love that. Certainly, we've worked hard all season. I know we've had all sorts to contend with in terms of team changes, obviously injuries, which have played absolute havoc. When stuff like that happens at this time of year, Abby, it makes it particularly difficult to try and field a full 7 riders. I think it's important to field 7 riders rather than running a rider replacement. But it's difficult because the rules don't lend itself well to finding those replacements when you're limited in who you can have and how long you can have them for. So it has been difficult, but I'm pleased with the lads that we've got riding for us today. They'll give it their best and 100%, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and someone like Robert Lambert, I mean, the guests that you've brought in have been brilliant, but they've gelled so well with the team.
Yeah, they really have, and that's difficult when you're drafting people in. But we've had our Sheffield Select WhatsApp group going, and there's been plenty of banter flying around. So look, Bomber loves the playoffs, and Rob's certainly up for it, as are the rest of the boys. So it's all to play for. We'll give it our best.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you.
After 4 heats, Tigers have reduced the deficit to 10 points. So the aggregate score, it is 52-62. And it's time to go racing again and to Heat 5 and back to your commentators.
Thanks very much, Abby. As I say, we're rattling on tonight with the weather turning against us. The lineup: heat number 5, Holder off the inside in red. Gate number 2 in yellow is Eric Risk. Gate 3 in blue is Josh Pickering, and off the outside is Emil Saifutinov in the white helmet colour. Both Saifutinov and Jason Doyle had gate 3 in their first rides and struggled. Must be quite slick there, Ollie, mustn't it?
Yeah, you can see from the images there that there doesn't look much of a groove there on gate 3. Gates 1 and 4 certainly have been favourites so far.
Holder a good win from gate number 4 in his first ride, but Emil Saifutinov, that man on the outside with the drizzle still coming down, will be a major danger. 10 points in it. Here we go. Holder's made a fabulous start off the inside. Saifutinov now coming round the outside, but look at that from Chris Holder. What a fabulous first turn. And I tell you what, Saifutinov's having to work very hard to try and get the better of Josh Pickering. And Pickering now. Pickering's hanging on to second place, and the Sheffield Tigers are doing the business once again here at Owlerton. It's going all their way.
Tell you what, gate 3 looked pretty good there from Pickering. He made just good enough start to keep Emil wide, pushed him wide on the first bend, didn't allow him room to come round. Now the Tigers on a 5-1. Great result for those, especially against Emil.
Absolutely right. Chris Holder, disappointing on Tuesday. The absolute reverse here. Absolutely flying away. Punches the air with a lap to go. That's how confident he's feeling. Pickering, his compatriot, back in second place, who has done a fantastic job to keep Emil Saifutinov at bay through the last corner. And the Tigers are marching on again, once again here. Their second 5-1 of the evening. The last 4 heats have gone the way of the Tigers, and they close in by another 4 points. And that 18-point lead looked so comfortable just a few races ago. Very different picture now. And this grand final is coming alive, and the Tigers fans, they believe. They really do. They came so close last year, of course. They were denied by the Bellevue Aces. Result of heat number 5, very important result it is in truth. Chris Holder, 3 points out in front, 2 points for Josh Pickering, and with Saifutinov back in third place, and Eric Rismus is out in the heat number 5. Brilliant stuff here again from the Tigers.
Yeah, I think the key part here is Pickering makes a good start from gate 3. He gives Emil a little nudge there going into the bend, and then he's quick to move in front of him on the back straight, and he doesn't allow him room around the outside. And to be honest, it was a big surprise to me. Here we go, you can see it again. Chris makes a great start from gate 1. Josh does enough to unsettle Emil on the first bend. Chris moves over, covers that run as well, and then the Tigers are off on a 5-1. Fantastic result for them, and that, Steady must be over the moon with his boys so far.
Yeah, rightly so. They have come to race, and they've come to try and grab this league title. Look at Holder, he's just loving it out there. Throw somewhere. So we're cracking on with the action once again. Heat number 6 for you. Jason Doyle will go from the inside gate in white. Robert Lambert out of gate number 2 in red. Joe Thompson will go from gate number 3 in yellow, and Carl Howarth off off the outside in blue. Howarth just slipped off his bike there, probably just taken by surprise a little bit, just moved off the line, didn't he? And Saifutinov was through, but Howarth, he never knows when he's beat. He'll be back for more this time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He never knows when to give up, and I'm sure we'll see him back to his best in this one.
Richie Hawkins, a tense looking Richie Hawkins. It's almost like deja vu. This is pretty much what happened at Bellevue in the semi-final, but they stretched the lead to 22 points in the first 4 races that night. That has not been the case here this evening. It's just 6 points in it, and we've only had 5 races. That is how quickly things have turned around here this evening. Remarkable. Here we go then, heat number 6. Big guns out again. Doyle off the inside, makes a good start. Lambert's there alongside him. Coming round the outside is now Howarth. Howarth chopping back to the inside. Lambert now. Lambert pushing up the inside. Can he find a way through? No. Doyle responds. Slams the door shut on the entrance to turn number 3. Runs wide off the corner. But Lambert is there. He's looking for a move through. Look at Robert Lambert in the dirt. Fantastic speedway out in front.
Yeah, Lambert hunting Doyle down in front. He doesn't mind about the bad weather. He's out in the dirt. He's chasing Doyley's back wheel. Moves up onto his outside. Doyley looks like he's got the race under control now.
Now Lambert up the inside, pushing hard, and Doyle is just about hanging on. It's a 3-all at this stage. That will keep it to a 6-point lead overall. Doyle has needed to produce this sort of performance. Lambert has been right there throughout the 3 and a bit laps, just down the back straight for the last time. And the former world champion Jason Doyle has ridden like one here and has needed to. Out of the last corner, he wins the race, but the Tigers have packed in for the minor places there in 2nd and 3rd. Daniel Hume misses out. That inside gate worked a treat for Doyle there, but he still had to work hard because early doors, Robert Lambert was lurking. Any small mistake from Jason Doyle, Lambert would have been through. Super speedway here at Owlerton when you consider the conditions. Result of heat number 6. Doyle out in front, 3 points for him. Lambert back in 2nd place, 2 points. Carl Howarth coming through in 3rd, 1 point for him, and Joe Thompson missing out in heat number 6. So here we see it again. And Scotty, this was a terrific performance from Jason Doyle, and it needed to be because Lambert was pushing so hard.
Yeah, it certainly was, Cal. Jason needed that win, but to be fair, early doors I felt like Robert Lambert's a bit quicker. Jason Doyle slams the door shut there. He had to. He knows how quick Robert is, but as the race went on, Robert was hounding him down, putting the pressure on him. But I think when he changed lines with that little bit of rain coming down, just went a little bit slick and he lost the ground on him.
Thanks very much, Scotty. Ollie, it was an important ride from Doyle, wasn't it?
Oh, so important. Ipswich needed that win. He needed to steady the boat there a little bit. It wasn't looking good. Those last run of races, 4-2s, 5-1s against, and now Doyley race win, so important. He had gate 1, didn't want to waste it, and good 3 points for him.
It was indeed. Hanging in there, 6 points. Ipswich Witches are up, but there's no question it's going to go the distance tonight, you suggest. It's a big night. We've got 2 guests coming out here for the Sheffield Tigers. Harris won first time out. Good ride from Harris first time, wasn't it, round the outside?
Classic Chris Harris round the outside on the first bend. To be honest, these conditions suit him. This time of year, deep, wet tracks, you know, that's a bit of bomber.
Heat number 7, the line-up for you is Harris off the inside in red, Danny King out of gate number 2 in white, Jai Etheridge going along nicely. 4 points from Etheridge tonight so far. Blue, gate number 3, and off the outside is Keenan Rue in the yellow helmet colour. You're absolutely right about Chris Harris. He's not fazed by difficult conditions at all. He just attacks them, doesn't he?
Absolutely not. I've worked with him a lot over the last few years, and we've been to tracks all over Europe, and it doesn't matter how rough it is or deep it is. It doesn't matter. You get the same performance from him.
That is admirable. Such a handy guy to have. Simon Stead, well, his hopes are alive. It was frustration in the camp. They were talking strongly afterwards in the press, building up to tonight. There's no question that the Sheffield Tigers didn't lose their belief after being beaten by 18 points on Tuesday. They just fancied that they could do that here. They've done it before over teams tonight. Look at that rain keep coming down. Not what we want to see, but the riders, the championship on the line. Here we go. Heat number 7. Green light is on. Tapes are up, and we're into the first corner.
Harris is looking over his right shoulder a couple of times. He runs very wide. Danny King now coming up the inside. It's tight. Harris just about squeezes round the outside of Danny King. It's Jai Etheridge back in third place. So another heat advantage on the cards with Keenan Rue out the back. Harris once again being a superstar in the playoffs.
Yeah, great first lap there for Chris Harris to get around the outside of Danny down the back straight. And what's really important here is Etheridge in third place, beating Keenan Rue. Another 4-2 heat advantage for the Sheffield Tigers here.
Indeed it is. Harris riding out of his skin once again, pulling further and further away. Danny King solid in second place. Rue is putting pressure on Etheridge back in third place, but at the moment, with a lap to go, it's really tight between the two. Etheridge now back up the inside. Rue squaring the corner off. Vital moment. Rue now coming through into third place. That's a very handy move from him. Just damage limitation. Keeps the lead to 6. Although it was just for 1 point, in the context of the grand final, those points are going to be vital. So fair play to Keenan Rue. Did not wave the white flag there at all. Harris was the star out in front, but just as much a star for the Ipswich Witches was Keenan Rue there coming through into third place to make it a 3-all. And that lead is retained at 6 points for the Witches. So heat number 7, Chris Harris wins the race, 3 points for him. Danny King back in second place, 2 points. Keenan Rue, 1 point for him, and Jai Etheridge back in fails to score. Excuse me. Let's get down to Scotty.
Yeah, thanks, Kelv. It's nice and dry in here, mate. I'm not worried about the rain, but no, that was a huge race. I think the race was at the back with Keenan Rue there. Obviously, we're all focused with Chris Harris doing a fantastic job. Has a good look for his shoulder there. Twice looks for Danny. Danny read it perfect there. Almost got the edge on Bomber down the back straight, but you guys have been talking about it. Bomber never knows when he's beaten, swooped around the outside. But the real race was at the back with number 6 there, Jai Etheridge, for Sheffield Tigers coming as a guest, and Keenan Rue. Keenan threw everything at it there, and a vital point to equal it at 3 points apiece. You can see the move there. Jai Etheridge tries to come up the inside. Perfect cut back there from Keenan Rue. Up the inside, Jai Etheridge has no answer. It's very tight. It's going to go all the way, I believe. But in the meantime, I think, well, that man there probably takes a little bit of a breather later. Oh, he's lost his fuel cap there, so good job that didn't run out. Down to you, Abby.
Scotty, thank you. Well, I can tell you that Bomber Harris, right next to us here, is a TV monitor, and he was watching that race. He does what he always does in the playoff. He's just winning the heats. It's now down to 6 points, and as the rain continues to come down, we're going to have a quick break. We'll come back, and it'll be heat 8.
Freddie Lindgren searching for his first world title. He's been around a long time, Freddie. Here we go then. Final in Torren.
Up and going quick. Lindgren in second place under pressure from Madsen, but that will be irrelevant. Smarsling out front, looking good.
Smarsling now, just a lap away for his 4th World Championship. Leon Madsen now coming through, pushing hard in third place, trying to get the better of Lindgren. He has. Lindgren responds, comes through to second place. But out of the last corner, Bartosz Smarsling is a 4-time world champion. What a night for him. After all the drama 2 weeks ago in Boyens. Wow, what a way to respond. Back-to-back SGP World Championships for that man. Incredible scenes here in Torren.
Tell you what, he did it in style, didn't he?
Indeed.
That would have been a terrible 2 weeks leading up to this meeting. And look how he's responded.
Absolutely right, Chris. He's been through agony. He was crying. He was desperate after Boyens. Been DQ'd there. But he's come back here 2 weeks later, and he's just proven to everybody, I am the man. So there we see it. There's an 8-point gap with 158 points to 150, 125 points
just 2 points ahead of Jack Holder, who will be bitterly disappointed with 4th place.
Medale już są, czas na puchar.
And the winner trophy is
Jean-Baptiste
presented
Lay
by
coming forward now, Motorsport Series leader of WBD. Joint presentation between the rights holder and the FIM to the World Champion, the World Championship trophy. Fantastic. Doesn't get any better than that.
Welcome back to Owlerton Stadium as the rain comes down here. This is the score after 7 heats. It is down to just 6 points on aggregate, 63-69. Before hopefully we'll continue with the action very soon. If you're into cycling, just make a note of these days and times. You've got Il Lombardia, Saturday at 9:15, Eurosport 2, Tour of Turkey, Eurosport 1, Sunday 10:45, and the Paris Tours, Eurosport 2, Sunday at 2:10. So yes, it is raining, and it's raining hard. I've never spoken so much about rain as I have done in Sheffield the last couple of meetings. Scott, tell us what it's like out there.
It's wet, Abby. It's raining. Yeah, no, I was quite happy in my little shed. I was quite dry in there, but it's wet. To be fair, the dirt's not too bad on the outside as Carl Howarth comes flying out. The boys are keen to get going. It's actually, as we're talking, the rain has eased off a little bit. I've got to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily be overly happy, but there's a lot at stake. The boys mean business, so I'm going to hand back to you guys up top and take it away from there.
Heat number 8, the line-up for you is Jason Edwards off the inside in the blue helmet colour. Joe Thompson out of gate number 2 in yellow. Carl Howarth out of gate number 3 in red, and Eric Riss will go from the outside in the white helmet colour. Gate number 4 has worked pretty well. Rain is certainly coming down here. Conditions are approaching, I sense, Ollie, approaching a period where maybe there could be a delay here.
Yeah, I agree. Track looks very, very wet. The rain hasn't stopped. So like you say, that we could get a period of time here where we need to do some track work.
Not ideal. You can see it in the background there that the track will be very slippery indeed. It's ridden really well, actually, considering the conditions that have been presented to everybody. 6 points is the difference. Sheffield Tigers have been really putting it to the witches. Here we go. Heat number 8. Green light is on. Tapes are up and we're underway. Jason Edwards has made a terrific start from gate number 1, rather. Round the outside comes Carl Howarth, and look at the Sheffield Tigers. They're doing it again. Can you believe what you're witnessing here at Owlerton this evening? Dreadful conditions, but the Sheffield Tigers are making light of it. They've roared away here. Edwards and Howarth out in front again.
Great first bend there from the Sheffield boys. Great start from Carl Howarth from gate 3. Gate 3 hasn't been good tonight, so it's a really good effort from him to stop Eric Riss coming across from gate 4. And the boys are marching on with a 5-1. Brilliant comeback from the Sheffield boys so far.
Fantastic turnaround of events here in Owlerton this evening. Out in front,
The Sheffield Tigers are closing in on the Ipswich Witches. A lap to go in heat number 8. Edwards superb away from the inside gate. Howarth has ridden out of his skin to come through into second place. Not quite sure he's in third, it's so covered in shale, but it's an Ipswich Witch and they're going to pick up a point. Joe Thompson comes through in third place with Eric Riss failing to score. Can you believe it? Another 5 points. There's just 2 in it now. 2 points in it. That is quite a remarkable turnaround at the midway point tonight. As I say, there's no doubt the Ipswich Witches now, when you consider the conditions, they will want to keep going. They won't want to get at heat 10. The result of heat number 8 is Edwards wins in fine style, 3 points for him. Carl Howarth back in second place, 2 points. Joe Thompson, 1 point for him, and Eric Riss failing to score there. 68 points to 70 now, 2 points on aggregate. Remarkable turnaround. Conditions like the bikes are hardly being able to be pushed off the track, it's that wet out there, but they're up at tapes again. Pickering off the inside in blue, Doyle off of gate number 2 in white, Holder out of gate number 3 in red, Hume going from the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Holder's been terrific tonight so far, he's had 2 rides and 2 wins. Jason Doyle, as always, working overtime.
Yeah, I can't stress at the moment how important these race results are, because this meeting could, you know, we could get a downpour and the meeting could be cancelled at any moment.
It is. Traditionally, you need to get to heat 10 to have a result. Far from ideal when you consider it's a grand final. It will be very unsatisfactory if that is the case, but the rain is playing its part here in Owlerton in South Yorkshire tonight in Sheffield. Here we go. Just 2 points between the 2 teams on aggregate. Holder, Pickering, Doyle and Hume going head-to-head in heat number 9. The tapes are up. We're into the first corner. Doyle's made a smashing start out of gate number 2. He clamps Pickering down, coming through in the third. No, Hume's come brilliantly round the outside. Where did he find that? Pickering responds, forces his way back into second place. The Ipswich Witches now really having to dig deep here. Doyle's out in front. Pickering riding all over the track to keep Hume behind him.
Hume riding the race of his life here in third place, holding Chris Holder at the back. Chris has won 2 races so far, and he's now stuck behind Daniel in the reserve. So huge result for him.
Yeah, fabulous ride from Daniel Hume. Here comes Pickering. Pickering round the outside. Oh, where did it come from? Doyle's ridden round the inside, and Pickering all of a sudden turning it around in favour of the Sheffield Tigers. Wow! Here we go into the last lap. Sensational ride from Josh Pickering, with Doyle being relegated back to second place. Daniel Hume back in third. Just 2 points in it once again. Just for a moment, the Witches were looking like they were on a 4-2 and moving 4 points ahead, but that man denies them. He comes up with a stunning performance in dreadful conditions. Showed great bravery there in heat number 9. Fantastic night from Josh Pickering. 3 points for him. Jason Doyle back in second place, 2 points. Daniel Hume picks up a very valuable third place, 1 point for him, and Chris Holder, who was unbeaten prior to that race, misses out. What a race this was, Ollie.
Yeah, great start there from Doyle. And to be honest, with the weather the way it is, once he hit the front, I thought that was it. But Josh Pickering did not give up. He chased him down the whole time. But what was key here was Daniel Hume in third place. Great result by him. Here you go, you see Josh Pickering. He moves really, really wide into the deep dirt on the outside there. Very brave move. Gets around the outside of Jason Doyle. There haven't been many people who said that this year.
No, absolutely right. Gate number 10, line up for you is Howarth off the inside in blue, Keenan Rue out of gate number 2 in yellow, Robert Lambert out of gate number 3 in red, and Danny King will go off the outside in the white helmet colour. 2 points between the two sides on aggregate, 71 points to 73. There was 18 points between the two at heat number 1. It was a 3-all then, and since that time, since the heat number 2, it's been nearly one-way traffic throughout. What a night it's been. Not fantastic racing, but in conjunction of the prize up for grabs here, the championship, the Sports Insure Premiership title on the line. Tigers came so close last year, denied by the Bellevue Aces. Ipswich Witches have had an unbelievable journey to get here.
Here we go. Oh my goodness, looked like Robert Lambert jumped the start there. The red lights have got to come on. Yeah, he just dropped the clutch early there.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement there at the start. I actually thought Danny King moved from gate 4, and that made Robert move. I think it would be interesting to watch it back.
You may well be right. Jim McGregor, our referee, who was our referee on Tuesday as well. Jim was clearly not happy with that, and it was an unsatisfactory start.
There you see, Danny just moved a little bit on gate 4, and then I think it maybe unsettled Robert a little bit, and I think it's the right call to call him. All four back, Robert did move. Yeah, which is just before the tapes go up.
I'll tell you what, he was lucky there.
Very
he was
lucky.
lucky to get wheel spin, otherwise he was straight through the tapes. But the greasy conditions coming to his rescue at that particular moment, but an untidy start nonetheless.
Yeah, it was. But look at the result. Look at the actual riding result at the time, 5-1 again. So, I mean, the key thing for me here is if Robert can get a good start from gate 3, stop that run from Danny King. I expect Kyle to do something from gate 1. It could be another advantage to Sheffield.
Line up for you, Howarth off the inside in blue, Keenan Rue off gate number 2 in yellow, Robert Lambert out of gate number 3 in red, and Danny King off the outside in white. Second time of asking for heat number 10, where there is a possibility of a result if conditions continue to deteriorate. They won't want to, of course, not when the stakes are so high. Tapes are up, they've all behaved themselves this time. Howarth has made a fantastic start off the inside. He fires himself to the front. Lambert coming round the outside. The Tigers are doing it again. Can you believe it? Danny King now back in. Oh, King's gone down. Oh, clouds the fence there. Red light's got to be on. Yeah, got to be on. Danny King goes down really hard there. Race is stopped. Dramatic. Let's keep our fingers crossed he's okay. Slight misjudgment, but when you consider how slippery it is out there and he's drifting across the track, just ran out of room, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And when the track's like this and it's greasy, you go into a corner that fast, you're not. It's a bit of a judgment call as to when the bike will stop, and he slid across the corner. And unfortunately, you're talking about centimeters here. If you're a couple of centimeters out, you clip the fence, you go down, and your race is over. But when the track's like this, it can happen.
It can indeed. So concern for Danny King. The first time where we've seen conditions really playing their part. The track has behaved so well. There's no question about it, but he did go down very hard indeed. High speed there at the end of the back straight, middle of that turn 3 and 4. You are pressing on, that's for sure. No decision from the referee at the moment, but I'm expecting King to be excluded, which just adds insult to injury. But over and above that, let's hope that Danny King is A-OK. So these fans, the Sheffield fans, have come in their droves tonight. Fantastic turnout. They were sort of hoping their team could turn it around, but I tell you what, they've done admirably well so far. It's been a sensation turnaround of events here. So, while we've got this delay, let's get down to Abbey.
Cal, thank you. Well, the mood has certainly quietened, and we all hope that Danny King is okay. First and foremost, it looked a really horrific crash, a high-speed crash, and everyone wishes him well. We're going to take a moment to pause, and this is my time to say, if you want to ask Scott Nicholls any questions, use that hashtag #SheIps, and I'll post them to him later on in the programme on Discovery+. Join us afterwards for a restart of this heat.
Joining me now is the SGP race director, Phil Morris. And Phil, it's been a big day, of course, because the wildcards for next season's Grand Prix have been announced this afternoon, the 5 of them. There are a couple of guys there I would suggest that many would have predicted would have got wildcards, in Dan Bewley and Ty Woofenden. And Dan will come to straight away. Dan, of course, just slipping outside the top 6, won a Grand Prix, no surprise to see him back in.
Yeah, I think Dan's the future of the sport, and I think he's one of the riders that potentially can rival the world champion in the next few years. So, yeah, I think Dan was a fairly easy one to put on the table.
Yeah, Dan's had some highlights, 3 finals and 3 wins, so he's going along very nicely. Ty Woofenden was the other one I think that a lot of people would have predicted. You showed me some stats about him just prior to doing this interview. He's had several wildcard picks before, but he was returning to form when he unfortunately got hurt.
Yeah, he's already had 3 wildcards. This is number 4, so people might, you know, think that's a bit too much. But also, you have to remember, in Riga, he made the final, and I'm sure he'll admit he made a big mistake by moving again at the start and getting disqualified. And I feel at Cardiff, if he hadn't have crashed, he was on his way to a good potential finalist there. So I think his form had turned, and of course, injury then curtailed his season. But I feel, you know, 3-time world champion, we felt he deserved another shot.
I don't think many people would disagree with that. Then now we're looking at... there are 3 more to come, of course, and we've got Andrei Lebedevs, who's been coming in as an injury replacement. He's done pretty much half the series, but hasn't done himself any harm at all. He looks like a guy that's on the up and up.
Yeah, you know, he's a racer, and he puts on a good show. He's good to deal with, and obviously, being Latvian, we have the Grand Prix in Riga, so that was also a consideration to be more cosmopolitan around the world. And yeah, so I think he deserved this slot after what he's done this year.
Yeah, I would say he's a former European champion as well. He sort of disappeared off the radar a wee bit, but recently has found some form. We're looking at a couple of more guys now. Now, Kai Hülkenberg, who we've seen on a regular basis being the wild card for the Tetrode, the German Grand Prix, came in. He rode actually very well. He was a little bit up and down in Torren, but nonetheless, he had a couple of sparkling rides there. I think some people will be surprised to see Kai in the lineup, but nonetheless, he's there.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. You know, we've, if I'm honest, we've had some negative from the last few years saying it's a very closed shop. So we've looked at what we can do, and yeah, we've actually got 5 new faces this year, which is a third of the field. But yeah, Kai, I think he did himself no harms by overtaking Bartosz Zmarzlik on the weekend. That obviously showed that he can do it, and he won a few races. And yeah, maybe that's the one that may have shocked a few people. But again, it's the first German since Martin Smolinski, I think, in 2015. So, again, we're trying to look more worldwide. And I only had 1 vote out of 6, so it's not all my fault before anyone says anything.
And then finally, we've got Dominic Cabrera coming in, of course. No Dudek, no Janowski, but Cabrera, obviously, a rider that has had a good season and clearly one that are looking for a big season in 24.
Yeah, he's... probably the new breed of the Poles coming through. He was the 2nd top scorer in the World Cup for Poland, and the last time he was in the Grand Prix, I think it was the COVID year a few years back, and he had 2 performances at Lublin where he came 3rd and 2nd, so he really showed what he can do. He didn't get a wild card that year, and unfortunately had a bad injury at Warsaw Grand Prix this year that put him out for a lot of the season. But I think because he's young, he's fresh, and we needed sort of another pole in it, really, and it was unfortunate on Magic, but Dominic just got the shout over him.
Welcome back to Owlerton. Well, after 9 heats, it's just 2 points separating these 2 sides over aggregate. I have got word from Danny King. I just spoke to him a moment ago. He said it's okay. He obviously looks pretty winded of what you'd imagine after taking a moment like that. Let's resume then with the action and back over to Ollie and to Kelvin.
Yeah, good to see Danny King back on his feet. That was a nasty moment for him. So he's on his way back in, just recuperating in the pit area. Riders are back up at tapes for the restaging of heat number 10. Line-up is then Kyle Howarth off the inside in blue, Keenan Ruau gate number 2 in yellow, Robert Lambert gate number 3 in red, and no rider off the outside. What an opportunity for the Tigers now, Holly.
Huge chance for them, huge chance to take the lead on aggregate for the first time tonight, and what a time to do it, because after heat 10, if the rain comes down, the referee could call a result, so really you want to be in the lead from now on in.
This could be the race that determines who wins the Sports Insure Premiership of 2023. That's how important it is now. The Tigers done a remarkable job. The Ipswich Witches must be just a little bit dazed what's happened tonight. It really has been a role reversal from Tuesday night. Here we go then, number 10, heat number 10, we're underway. Tapes up and the Tigers hit the front going into the first corner. Howarth around the inside. Lambert roaring around the air fence. Joins his teammate down the back straight. Keenan Rue back in third place. It's all going the way of the Tigers and they can hang on to a 5-1 here. They'll have a 2-point lead at the conclusion of heat number 10. That is just a remarkable turn of events.
Unbelievable scenes here at Sheffield. I cannot believe that they've clawed it back so quickly. Fantastic result here for the Sheffield boys if it can stay like this.
Indeed it is. It's looking very likely. Lambert now looking very accomplished out in front. Howarth initially with that fabulous start off the inside has done the business there. Keenan Rue, of course, he's trying his heart out back in third place, but he just can't land a blow. There's a lap to go. Will this be the heat? Will we see it called now? Ipswich Witches will certainly not want that. Now they've slipped behind. One last corner to go, and the Sheffield Tigers with a 5-1 here in heat number 10. Lead on aggregate. They lead the grand final. Robert Lambert doing the business with his captain there, Carl Howarth. Big maximum score there. Lambert right round the outside in that first corner, driving down the back straight. Howarth knew he was coming. Those fans are overjoyed. It's not fabulous Speedway, but they don't care. Their team has now hit the front. 76 points to 74, 2 points up after 10 races here in the second leg. You couldn't script it.
Oh, fantastic night from the Sheffield boys. You couldn't have scripted it, but they obviously believed it. They've been riding so well tonight. They've handled the conditions really well. I mean, it's the same for both teams, and we've got a fight on our hands now to the end.
We have indeed. So the result of heat number 10 is a 5-1 for the home team. Robert Lambert, 3 points for him. Carl Howarth back in second place, 2 points. Keenan Rue picks up 1 point. And Scotty, you just couldn't have scripted this, could you? It's just a remarkable turn of events here with the Sheffield Tigers coming through so strongly.
Took the words out of my mouth, Calv. You couldn't script it. I mean, we're at this point in the meeting and they're in front. I mean, it was a big race this. Carl Howarth does what he needs off the inside. Robert Lambert, look how wide he is. I believe Danny King, he just ran out of room in the race before, and it's really quite dark in that third and fourth corner. You can see the shadow up against the fence. It's hard to see where that dirt line finishes, and I think that's going to be a problem for the boys as the night goes on. I think a lot, as you saw later in the race, Kelv, Robert Lambert started to ride more mid-track, and I think that's where the boys are going to start to have to pick the lines as the night goes on.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Picking the lines is going to be hugely important. As I say, riders are preparing for heat number 11. We are going on. 2 points in it, but 2 points to the home team. Ipswich Witches had an 18-point lead coming into tonight, and after 10 races tonight, Sheffield Tigers have just made light of that, and they have battled their way back, and they lead over the 2 legs at this stage. Incredible scenes. Emil Saifutinov just hasn't got going tonight so far. He will need to respond now. Such a class act. He's been in fantastic form throughout the season.
Yes, it's time for him to step up now. He's got Gate 1. Gate 1's been working well, and it really is time for him to step up for his team and try and claw something back for the Ipswich Witches now.
Saifutinov off the inside in white. Harris out of gate number 2 in red. Gate number 3 is Eric Griss in yellow, and off the outside, I do believe it's Jai Etheridge. They have been flip-flopping their reserves around. Richie Hawkins there with the team from Ipswich are looking concerned. It's actually a change here. It's not Jai Edwards, it's Jason Edwards coming in here in heat number 11 as a reserve. Switch, he'll be in blue. He's in blue. So Chris Harris, who's done a fantastic job so far, he's unbeaten. He really has been going along. There's Edwards coming in, who's ridden strongly tonight. Can they stretch their lead again? But Saifutinov could be dangerous. Yes, he is. He's away nicely. Harris is there alongside him. Edwards now coming through, but he's beaten up coming through that first corner. No doubt about that by Eric Riss. Eric Riss certainly coming through into third place. Harris is right out by the fence. Emil Saifutinov having to ride very wide indeed to keep Harris behind. The Witches on a 4-2 here. They're battling hard, and this will square it up.
Yeah, great first bend, great start from Emil now, and he's starting to stretch his lead. He knows that with Chris Harris behind him, he cannot let off the gas for the whole 4 laps.
No, he can't. Harris never knows when he's beaten. But then we'll Saifutinov right up the front of the bike there as he kicks off the dirt as he comes out of turn number 2. Had to work hard early on, but he's moving further and further away. Harris back in second place. Eric Riss getting the better, vitally getting the better of Jason Edwards, who's back in 4th place. Tell you what, this is a very handy result for the Witches. They've been under all sorts of pressure, but this will level it up. And Emil Saifutinov wins his first race of the evening. And that's his 3rd outing. You don't say that very often, not this year anyway. Very handy ride from him. Vital point from Ipswich perspective from Eric Riss. As I say, it's all square now on 78 points apiece. Result of heat number 11. Saifutinov out in front, 3 points for him. Harris second place, 2 points, 1 for Eric Riss, and Jason Edwards failing to score as the reserve switch, heat number 11. We've had to wait a little bit of time for Emil Saifutinov to win the race, but he makes no mistake here.
Yeah, class ride there for Emil. You saw a good start from gate 1. You can see the onboard there of Chris Harris. You can see how wet it is on the camera there. You can actually see vision isn't good. There you see Emil again from gate 1, has a look over, checks it's not his teammate. Then he checks out. Good first bend there from Eric Riss. He moves over and blocks Jason Edwards, and that was key because it gives Ipswich the 4-2 as opposed to the 3-3.
Harris did try hard, didn't he? He never knows when he's beat, but Saifutinov figured it out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. You could see on that first lap, Chris was willing to send it. He went deep into turn 3, actually clipped the fence there, I think, in the apex of the corner, which is incredibly brave.
There it is indeed. A rider at work and on top of his game. This is a vital moment. Riders now, no hesitation. As I say, grand final on the line. I think in a normal league match, this meeting would have been called to a halt earlier. But right now, there's no question that we could well be going to a conclusion with it so tight. It's all tied up, 78 points apiece on aggregate. There's a change here. Edwards has been in the previous race. Etheridge now will come out here and join Chris Holder for the home team. Line up for heat number 12 is Daniel Hume off the inside in yellow. Chris Holder out of gate number 2 in red. Danny King coming out of gate number 3 in white. I do hope Danny King's okay. And off the outside is Jai Etheridge. That's the change. Holder, who has won a couple of races early on, failed to score last time. He'll be looking to get the better of King and Hume here this time, Ollie.
Yeah, he will. Ipswich are on the favoured gates. 1 and 3 looks slightly stronger at the moment, but it'll be interesting to see how Danny comes back after that huge crash.
He has to be shaken up a bit. It shows you how tough it is as a Speedway rider. You've been thrown off the bike, you've been really knocked about, but next minute, you've got to be out there producing it, back on the horse as it were, racing again. Far from ideal conditions. This man coming in as a guest tonight, Etheridge, has picked up some valuable points so far this evening. Can he do it from gate number 4? Here we go then. Heat number 12. Tapes are up. Away we go. What a start from Chris Holder. Fantastic out of gate number 2. Round the outside from Etheridge. Oh my goodness, where did he come from? Came from a different county there, bouncing off the air fence, coming through in the second place. Danny King pushing up the inside. Holder's cleared off up in front, and Jai Etheridge doing the magic on the first corner.
Oh, great start there from Chris Holder, and Jai Etheridge round the first bend, literally on the bottom of the fence. Fantastic ride from him to overtake someone far more experienced in Danny King.
Superb stuff then, out in front. It really has been the story of the evening with the Sheffield Tigers just being in dominant mood. There's been a determination, a steely determination about them on track tonight, and they are doing the business here, and they're going to pull further away. 1 lap to go here with the 2 boys out in front. Fantastic scenes, certainly for the home crowd, not so much for the Ipswich Witches, who have found it very difficult going tonight. Out of the last corner, Holder once again, 9 points out of 12 tonight. He's done his job, hasn't he? Terrific effort from him. And a great move initially from Etheridge round that outside. 5-1. They move now clear. 4 points up, 83 points to 79. something I wasn't expecting to be saying at heat number 12. I really wasn't. I think a lot of people felt that Ipswich Witches were the favourite for the title, but the Sheffield Tigers have shown such great resolve tonight and have battled their way right back into this. Heat number 12, Chris Holder out in front. What a start it was from him, 3 points. Jai Etheridge, 2 points for him in second place. Danny King back in third, 1 point for him, and Daniel Hume failing to score. What a ride this was, and particularly from young Jai Etheridge, a really brave move in the first corner.
Oh, huge first corner from Jai. You see, Chris makes a fantastic start from gate 2. He heads straight to the curb, and if you keep your eye on the rider in blue, he goes right round the outside. Earlier in the corner there, we actually missed it, but he was so wide, and really brave first bend from him. And here we go, you might see it here. You see Chris makes it from gate 2. Now you see Jai in the blue helmet there. He's under the fence. He's almost clipped the fence. He gets all of that drive from the deeper dirt there, swoops around the outside onto that 5-1, and they never look back from there. To be fair, after this first lap, Danny didn't pressure him at all.
Well, they had the pace, they were in the right place. So important to make the moves early in the race, and Chris Holder clearly chuffed to bits with that, and rightly so. What a stunning start it was from him, and he's joined by his teammate with a great move around the outside. Okay, let's get back down to Abby. She's in the thick of it in the pits.
Simon, when we spoke earlier, you said that the boys believed. You've come from 18 points down, and now you're 4 up.
Yeah, look, big few heats coming up, Abby. Told you we believed. Still a long way to go, or it feels like there's such a long way to go. But we're giving everything in every heat. Keep it going, keep doing what we're doing, and if we do that, we'll win.
Come on!
And performances like Pico, though, that kind of bravery in these kind of torrid conditions, and we saw it in the semi-final as well. Something about when it gets really dangerous, that people like him come to the fore.
Just steps up every time. He's got so much belief in himself. I love that, and it just actually, like, his confidence and charisma just like rolls through the team. It's brilliant. But look, massive team performance, and that's what got us to this point right now. We just need to push on and try and finish the job.
Thank you, Steady. Back to you, Kelvin.
Thank you very much, Abby. There are 12 points available with 3 heats remaining. Could be a super heat, so there could be 4 races remaining. But right now, at the conclusion of heat 15, there are 3 5-1s. There are 12 points available. It may not be required, of course, but nonetheless, heat 13, what a lineup it is. Fantastic ability, sheer class on the start line here. Really is. Can't wait to go through the lineup for you. Emil Seifutinov and Doyle have been so good all season long for the Ipswich Witches. Heat number 13, then the lineup for you is Robert Lambert off the inside in red. Alongside him is Emil Seifutinov in gate number 2 in white. Gate number 3 in blue is Chris Harris, and off the outside is Jason Doyle in the yellow helmet colour. This is tense times, as clear to be seen, particularly for the Ipswich Witches. But when you've got riders like Seifutinov and Doyle, Ollie, you've got to have some hope, haven't you?
You have. They came good at Bellevue at the right time, didn't they? So, you know, Rich will be really hoping they do the same tonight, but huge lineup at Heat 13.
Often is the case, but particularly tonight in the context of what's on the line. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. They start in April and they have to battle their way through. Conditions are not great. We're in October, battling away here. It does look like the rain has eased off somewhat. Looks like it actually has stopped raining, which is great news, but the track is wet. I think that's pretty much obvious. Now can Ipswich, with Seifutinov and Doyle here, close back in? They need to. The Tigers have just been on a roll tonight. Here we go. Tapes are up into the first corner. Seifutinov there. What a start from him. Doyle trying to come through up the inside. Brilliant move. Harris is hanging on in second place. Doyle pushing hard up the inside. Harris is in no man's land in the middle of the track. Look at Doyle. Doyle's come charging up the inside. Tough move from Jason Doyle. Oh my goodness. He's hit the fence. He's managed to stay on. Remarkable.
Huge ride there from Doyle. He slams up the inside of Chris Harris down the home straight, then slams into the fence himself. He did well to stay on.
Incredible riding from Jason Doyle.
He came from last to second. Harris is there again. Saifutinov has cleared off out in front. Here comes Chris Harris up the inside, pushing so very hard to get the better of Jason Dodd. He's done him. There's a lap to go. Doyle now replaces the compliment. Fantastic Speedway and heat number 13. Now Harris is back up the inside. Doyle now comes round the outside. A massive 5-1 for the Ipswich Witches. Wow, what a Speedway race that was. Proper Speedway in heat number 13, Ollie.
Dare we say the top draw?
It was indeed, mate. It was. Wow, Emil Saifutinov misses all the fireworks. How on earth does Doyle stay on his motorbike?
And Bomber. Doyle almost slammed into the side of him down the home straight, leaves him no room at all. A fantastic ride, fantastic.
It's all square. It's all square again on 84 points each. Emil Saif, calm down, Kelvin. Emil Saifutinov 3 points. Jason Doyle in second place 2. Chris Harry 1 point for him, and Robert Lambert fails to score in heat number 13. 84 points each. It's all square. Ollie, watch this again. This is just truly remarkable from Doyle.
Yeah, great start from Emma. Like you said, he kept himself out of trouble. Bomber moves out to the fence. Doyle here is at the back. He goes up the inside of both riders. And this is where he forces his way across the corner in front of Bomber. Bomber's in second. Emil actually clips the fence there. Here comes Doyle. He slams the door shut on Bomber. Now you see Doyle moves across the corner, and this is where he hits the fence. But boom, hits the fence, nearly comes off, and carries on taking the same line.
Yeah, there was no hesitation. That's what's remarkable about it. He was literally thrown off his bike, landed on the seat, was a bit of good fortune, and then literally flat out back on the throttle.
Yeah, he heads straight back out there the next lap. And what that tells, there he is again. He's out by the fence again. Fantastic ride.
Okay, let's get some reaction with Abby now. She's joined by Danny King.
Cal, thank you. Well, Danny, first of all, we're so glad to see you on your feet. And then moments ago, really shouting to the team, give it your all, give it your all.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be close, but they're just gating better than us tonight, and they're riding a lot better. We need to step it up, and the boys did a great job there. It's going to be a 2-heat shootout, isn't it? So it's going down to the wire.
Are you feeling okay?
Not really. I'm very sore, but we'll see. I just need to get through this meeting. Let's get that win.
Thank you for chatting.
Yeah, what a night it is. It's like deja vu. We had it in the semi-final between the Bellevue Aces and the Ipswich Witches. It went down to heat 15 that night. It's looking very likely it's going to be the same tonight. Daniel Hume is coming in here in heat number 14 to replace Joe Thompson for the Ipswich Witches. Josh Pickering has been outstanding tonight for the Sheffield Tigers. He's here. Etheridge has done a remarkable job as well. So riders are approaching the tapes. Line up for heat number 14. Keenan Rue off the inside in white. Jai Etheridge coming in here. Gate number 2 in blue. Daniel Hume out of gate number 3 in yellow. And off the outside is Pickering in red. Pickering has been spectacular, isn't he? He just gives it his all. Had a slow start with Sheffield, but in the last few weeks has really come on strong.
Yeah, and this track suits him. It suits the way he rides. He's incredibly brave. You know right now he's sitting on gate 4, looking at the bottom of the fence, thinking, I'll have a bit of that in the first bend.
He's a brave man indeed. He's not frightened to get out there. As I say, the weather has just abated, and that is key. And congratulations to everybody. I mean, as I say, ordinarily I sense that this meeting would have been called to a halt. Richie Hawkins, a little dazed there, and you can understand why. It really has been quite some turnaround here tonight. Real sporting drama. The race in heat 13, truly extraordinary. Saifutinov and Doyle keeping the Witches in the hunt here tonight. Heat number 14, we're underway. Tapes are up. Etheridge has made a smashing start. He hits the front. Here comes Josh Pickering up the inside into third place. It's tight down the back straight. Hume has been relegated to the back with Keenan Rue hanging on there in second place. Keep an eye on Josh Pickering. Pickering now winding it on round the outside. Can he get the better of Keenan Rue? Yes, he can. Down the back straight. What a move from Pickering. And once again, Etheridge and Pickering, but Rue now back into second place.
Oh, great ride from the boys in second and third there. Here you go. You see Pickering's moving to that outside again. Can he get around the outside? Can he make it stick this time?
Oh, he's done it! Oh, stunning move from Pickering round the outside of Keenan Rue. Very nearly got himself to the front, but the door was shut closed. 1 lap to go here. Joey Etheridge has ridden out of his skin here to fire himself to the front. Sensational move from him. And what a result it is. And they're going to have a 4-point lead with 1 race to come. Unbelievable once again. The Tigers doing the business in heat number 14. You just can't believe what's going on. 5-1 to the Ipswich Witches in heat 13. That gave them a lifeline. But the Tigers have responded again. And Etheridge and Pickering doing the business in 14.
Brilliant ride, brilliant ride. If you were to script the Speedway meet, it would go something like this. I think this is how I'd write it. Huge heat 15.
It was so unlikely, but it's happened. And we're enjoying it immensely. I hope you are at home as well. As I say, the racing is not as good as you possibly would want, but in the context of the championship, it's thrilling stuff. Etheridge out in front, 3 points for him. Pickering back in second place, 2 points. Keenan Rue, 1 point for him, and Daniel Hume misses out. We've got a last heat decider here. The Tigers have got a 4-point lead, and a 5-1 is required for a super heat tonight.
Yeah, great start there from Joey Etheridge on the going into the first bend, gets over Keenan, clamps him down on the curb, and then you see Pico start to go to work. He's in third at the moment. He takes care of Daniel Hume. He's done with. And then he sets sail after Keenan. Here we go again. You see Pico's on the outside. He cuts back here. You can see the outside line's blocked. He moves up the inside of Daniel Hume, and then he sets about after Keenan Rue. And what a ride from him. Very brave, very, very brave. Here he goes, round the outside here. He's trying to get around the outside. The tricky thing is, as soon as he passes him, he's immediately into the back of his teammate, really. But there, he gets himself across to the inside and cements that second place.
Yeah, that was a really good move, but you're right the way you described that, because he was nearly running into the back of Etheridge, wasn't he? He had to scrub all his speed off.
Yeah, that was the problem. He didn't have a clear run to really build that speed up, and you've also got to take into consideration he's getting a lot of roost off the rider in front, so as he gets into second, he's then taking the roost from his teammates, so he did well to get across to the inside and cement the second place.
Indeed he did. Brilliant stuff. Okay, let's get down to Abby now.
What a night of Speedway. So the Ipswich Witches need a 5-1 to take it to a superheat. I've been asking you to get on board onto X and give me your questions to throw to Scott. I'll be asking Scott those questions in the next break on Discovery Plus. So any final thoughts, any final questions, use the hashtag #SheIps, and we've got the big Heat 15 coming up. This is a point of the show where at least we can breathe a bit, Scott. It's just been frantic, hasn't it?
Oh, man, what a meeting. I mean, I have to... 18 points. I mean, we saw it happen in Bellevue, and you're thinking, oh, that can't happen again. It has. It's unreal.
And this area here, the pits in Sheffield, is really tight. So where the monitor is, you've got all the riders crowning. Literally, bikes are coming everywhere. And can just say, before we came to this part of the show, you just had Carl Howarth and a load of the Tigers guys just going crazy.
Oh, no doubt. And they're kind of over my right-hand shoulder. And it's interesting to see how there's kind of a split now. The energy and the momentum's 100% shifted towards the Tigers. You know, their group huddling and getting themselves fired up and ready to do Heat 15, and Ipswich look a little bit kind of bemused as to what's going on. You know, Emily and Jason are going to come. Man, alive, what Jason did in Heat 13.
How did he stay upright?
Oh, man, I've got like a few screenshots of it in slow motion, and man alive, that was a close call, and shows what it means to them. You know, track conditions have been tough, but man alive, the boys have been really putting it on the line. I mean, I went out there and they've been lucky with the weather, because when I went out on track, it was raining quite hard, and I was like, I wouldn't want to be out here. It looked a bit slimy, but the weather has been kind. They've worked fantastic well with the track, and it's actually delivered some brilliant racing.
kind. It wasn't kind at the start of the night, I have to say.
No.
Well, near the middle then, but it got better. Okay, questions for you then. James, from the first bend, personal highlight this season?
Oh, man. Personal highlight season. Well, it probably would have been for Oxford getting through to the, to the playoffs and having some, pulling some good results back. But I'm still kind of licking my wounds from losing to Tuesday night. Fair play to Glasgow, the tide turned. A ref decision went against us, I think, and the momentum shifted, and we never picked ourselves up. So I'm trying hard to pull out a highlight at the moment, Abby. I'm a little bit sort of saddle struck at the minute.
Thank you for being so honest with that. Okay, Freddie Bowers, do you think the points limit should be increased next year so that riders like Saifutinov and Laguta can stay here?
I think it's tough. I think, putting the points limit up does make stronger teams, but sometimes money can play the victim. The more financially viable teams can pull in those big hitters. But, I mean, right now, look at what we've got now. We've got Emlyn, Doyle in the same team. Increase it a little bit so we can have it. But what I like about averages is it gives everybody a fighting chance to have the same teams on paper.
Scott, thank you. We'll continue with the action very soon here in Owlerton Stadium.
Presenting the war cry for the witches there. For Tigers fans, this means everything.
So welcome back. We have one heat remaining of this grand final. And look at that aggregate score. They came here with an 18-point deficit, the Tigers. They now have a 4-point advantage as we go into Heat 15. We're going to hear from Scott and the team managers in just a moment. But if you're into your bikes, you're going to love the next few days. You've got the Mountain Bike World Cup from Mont Saint-Anne. That's Eurosport 2 tomorrow at 9:15. Then back with the engines, British Superbikes. It's the final round for them. They're in Brands Hatch, 14th and 15th of October. The World Superbikes are in Jerez, and that's the 27th and the 29th of October. So a great few weeks of motorsport and cycling as ever on the channel. Scott Nichols now is with the team managers.
Yeah, thanks, Abby. Indeed, I'm going to come to Simon Stead first. Simon, you couldn't have scripted tonight. You must be super proud of the boys. Whatever happens tonight, it's been a great night at Speedway, but in particular for you boys to fight back the way they have.
Well, look, Scotty, we knew it was going to be tough. Ipswich have got a great team, but we knew how good we've been at Sheffield this season. We believed in the job that we could do. It's not finished, is it? But what a final, like for neutrals, for both sets of fans. It's been incredible. Must have been a great watch on the TV. So I'm just got my fingers crossed here that we can get the job done, but it's been a great final.
It certainly has. Obviously, you guys have gate choice in Heat 15. That could prove pivotal for you boys. Who are you going with and what gates, please?
Chris Holder off gate 2 and Robert Lambert off gate 4.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to come to Rich Hawkins. Richie, it's been a fantastic night at Speedway, but sadly at some point through the meeting, the tides turned and the momentum shifted to the Sheffield boys. You're going to put your big hits. I don't need to necessarily ask who you're going to put in, but what gates are you going to go for, please?
Well, we have what they picked 2 and 4, so we'll have Doyle will be off for 1 and Emil off for 3.
Yeah, it's going to go in the last heat. You need a 5-1. Don't need to. What have you said to the boys? Try and jam up.
Well, they know what they need to do, but I couldn't have asked for a better pair to put out. Hopefully they can replicate Heat 13 and we can take it to one of these super heats, but what a battle. Been brilliant playoff Speedway. Sheffield have been absolutely terrific tonight. They've been outgated us and they've been quicker than us, so we've battled hard, we've hung in there like we have done all year, so, we'll have a go again.
We so appreciate your honesty. Are we going to go to super heat? Who knows? Back to you, Abby.
Okay, so this is it. Heat 15. Will it go to a super heat? It is always a brilliant heat, but never has so much been on the line. Ollie and Calvin, all yours.
Yeah, thanks very much. What an art of Speedway it's been. It's been a credit to British Speedway, and when you consider the conditions that all 14 riders have had to cope with, they have done a fabulous job. Comes down to this. It wasn't likely at the beginning of the evening, but Sheffield Tigers have done the business tonight. Well, they do it. It's in their favour. They're in the driving seat now. We were talking about the Ipswich Witches being in the driving seat as the rain returns. That pesty rain just coming down again. We've got a fabulous lineup here for Heat 15 to determine, quite likely, which way this championship is going to go.
Yeah,
Line up for Heat 15 then. Jason Doyle will go off the inside in white, Chris Holder off gate number 2 in red, Saifutinov out of gate number 3 in yellow, and Robert Lambert off the outside in the blue helmet colour. What a moment for these four.
Oh, huge race, and what a way to end the season. You know, it's coming down to the last race, potentially last 2 races. Love it.
Indeed it does. It has been a dramatic night of Speedway. Heat number 13, Emil Saifutinov and Jason Doyle just producing miracles to come through to keep this meeting alive for the Ipswich Witches. They've slipped behind again. They're up against it here. 4 points behind. A 5-1 is all they need. Well, all they need is it's a must. If they don't get a 5-1, any other result, then the championship will go to the Sheffield Tigers for the very first time at the highest level in British Speedway. That's what it's all about now. The Witches haven't won the league title since 1998. Here we go! Tapes are up into the first corner. Holder, they're hustling it with Emil Saifutinov out in front though. It's Doyle. Here comes Saifutinov! We've got a super heat. No! Oh, Doyle's been swallowed up by Chris Holder. Holder in the middle of the track. Here comes Robert Lambert as well. Out in front is Emil Saifutinov. Doyle has gone to the back now. That's disappointment for him. Saifutinov doing the business, but right now, with a 3-all on the cards, the Tigers are going to do it.
Oh, brilliant first lap there from Lambert and Holder to push Doyle to the back. It looked like Ipswich were on a 5-1, and crazy first lap from the Tigers there to push themselves into second and third.
Saifutinov is comfortable out in front. All they've got to do now is just keep going, the Sheffield Tigers. This result will see them win the 2023 Sports Insure Premiership. Saifutinov started slowly tonight with 2 third places. He's responded brilliantly, but he's now out in front, and the Tigers have done it! They are the champions in 2023. Emotional times for them. They got beaten last year by Bellevue. What a turnaround of events here tonight. And the Tigers have they've refused to lie down. Holder has played his part. You've got to feel for the Witches. They must have had a lot of confidence coming here. But a very special moment for the Sheffield Tigers and that man Simon Stead.
Wow, what a night of Speedway. I would never have predicted this. I just didn't see it happening with Ipswich's top 2. I couldn't see Sheffield clawing it back like they have, but what a night, and couldn't script it any better, could you really, for Sheffield?
No, disappointment for the Ipswich Witches. Joy for the Tigers with their patched up team. As I say, it's the first time they've managed to win the Premiership. And Simon Stead so bitterly disappointed 12 months ago. Joy over his face now. Damien Bates, the promoter, here as well with his brother, Mark. Good, loyal supporters of the sport. They brought Sheffield back into the top line Speedway here at Owlerton. And they've won the championship here tonight. Richie Hawkins, of course, will be disappointed, but great respect shown between the two teams. Frustration from Lambert on Tuesday. Joy on Thursday. Just shows you what a roller coaster of emotions these guys have been going through in the last 3 days.
Oh, yeah. Incredible roller coaster there, especially for that man getting the bumps. I'm pleased for Steady to get this win. I know he fancied it before the meeting. He thought they could do it. They needed to start strong. They did. Fantastic result for Sheffield. They've never won the top flight championship like you said before, so brilliant for the club. And what a night for Chris Holder. I mean, he struggled at Ipswich. He'd be the first to admit that. Fantastic result tonight.
Well, Saifutinov wins Heat 15, 3 points for him. Chris Holder back in second place, 2 points. Robert Lambert, third place, 1 point for him. And Jason Doyle misses out in Heat 15. And that's the result that sees the championship go to the Sheffield Tigers here in 2023. Let's just go through this race one last time, Ollie.
Right, okay, so Emil and Doyley make the start. It looks like they're on a 5-1. Here we go. Emil around the outside takes the lead. Doyley, at this point, they're on a 5-1. Here, Chris Holder, he kind of creeps around the outside. Here we see it again. Emil and Doyle from the start. see Emil goes wide on the first bend, gets out into that cushion of dirt, and he takes the lead onto the back straight. At this point, Ipswich are looking good, but from here on in, Doyley just got swallowed up by the Sheffield riders. There you can see Chris Holder. You can see how much it means to him. He knows he wasn't at his best on Tuesday night, and tonight he's been fantastic.
Indeed he has. Fantastic turn of events. What a night of Speedway it's been. Really has been an extraordinary evening when you consider the situation as we came into tonight with the 18-point deficit they had. Right, let's get down to Abby. She's got Carl Howarth.
Champion, sir, and the scenes down here have been extraordinary. How good a night is this for you and your Tigers team?
You know, a lot of people wrote us off with 18 points down, but you'd think we'd be down and think we wasn't in it. But I tell you what, from track walk, we knew we had a really good chance. We know we've been performing, and the gate pick were crucial, and we actually they give us 2 and 4 what we wanted. It gives us 1 and 3 later on, and this stadium's electric, and I'm speechless. I didn't watch the final. I stayed in my pit bay, and then I was jumping up and down. So
I actually recorded you doing it because we were right by the monitor, and you were just the passion that was coming out of you, Carl. But that's what it means to you and your guys.
You know, we work hard, and we've had a bit of bad luck with injuries. And look, the management have built a team and had to chop and change, and we was coming into the playoffs probably not on a lot of great form, if I'm honest, and then we come in and we just turned it up, and we really made it hard for ourselves going 18 points down at Ipswich, but we really knew, and we dug deep, and a night we'll never forget, and the atmosphere is just so okay. Everyone's going crazy.
Well done. Really well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Just amazing scenes down here, and the heavens have opened again, but these Tigers guys do not care about the rain now. They've got the job done, and they're champions of 2023. When we come back, we'll have the ceremony, the presentation, of course, and some more analysis.
And these contributions of the likes of Lewis Kerr, Adam Ellis and David Malaga at the start of the season as well helped the Tigers pick up some points to get them into the playoffs as well. So a huge thank you to...
It's been an extraordinary night of Speedway. The Sheffield Tigers came here and they had an 18-point deficit after a really tough night at Vauxhall on Tuesday, but they have won by 4 points. The aggregate score, 92-88. Before we get on with the riders lap that the losing team are going out on track to do. Quick reminder of the cycling. You've got in Lombardia Saturday 9:15, Tour of Turkey Sunday at 10:45, and Paris Tours Sunday at 2:10 on Eurosport 2. Calvin, talk us through what is going to surely be an emotional moment for the Tigers team. Their story to get to this grand final was quite something.
Yeah, I will. We're taking a look, Abby, for the first time at the losers tonight, and they're not really losers. They've won the Knockout Cup final against the Sheffield Tigers 2 or 3 weeks ago. They've had a remarkable season, haven't they, really? They came into the playoffs just by the skin of their teeth, and they have ridden superbly well. They've been entertainers throughout the year.
Yeah, they've done well. You know, having Emil and Doyley in the team has been great for the league. I've been down to Vauxhall a few times this season, and they've been brilliant to watch. The crowd atmosphere has been good. So, you know, I think they've had a good year.
Indeed, it will sting a bit right now. But for these men, what a moment it is. Sheffield Tigers have never won at this level. Chris Holder, back in British Speedway after a couple of really tough seasons with injury, has ridden terrifically well for them. Got to say, feelings go out also. I've got to mention Tobias Michalak, Jack Holder, Ty Woofenden as well. They've all played their part. It really has been a collective effort in lots of ways. Jai Etheridge coming into the team. Carl Howarth, of course, ever present this year, has done a remarkable job. Robert Lambert wins another league title coming in at the back end of the season, having done it for the Bellevue Aces last year. But for Simon Stead, who is Speedway through and through, of course, you work closely with him in Team GB, a special moment for him as well.
Yeah, and Sheffield's a part of him. Like they're a club that he rode for a lot of years. He's from Sheffield. So yeah, it will mean the world to him. And also credit to him for the guests that you've chose. I know that Sheffield are a patched-up team, but he had to pick the right guest for the job, and he proved that over 2 legs he chose correct.
Indeed he did. Fantastic night for the new champions of Great Britain, the Sports Insure Premiership 2023, the Sheffield Tigers, and the crowd will be delighted with that. Look at that, nobody's going anywhere. It's absolutely pouring with rain. Nobody cares. They're just enjoying the moment. As I say, a fabulous moment for Carl Howarth, who has been a fantastic servant to this club. There's no doubt about that, and he will feel immensely proud to lead this team to victory here on October the 5th in the pouring rain at Owlerton. So there are the Ipswich team. Disappointed, of course, but nonetheless, they have played their part. Brilliant on Tuesday, not quite so good tonight. It's been a real roller coaster of a couple of meetings, that's for sure. Okay, let's get some more reaction now. Abby's down in the pits and Simon Stead is with her.
I'm with a very happy manager, very happy Danny. What a job!
Great job. I've lost my voice, Abby, I'm sorry. But just a massive shout out for the lads, but not only the lads that have done it tonight, but the lads that have stepped in this season and done a job for us as well. So delighted for the fans.
It is raining. It's rained a lot tonight. The rain has played its part in this grand final, as it did in the semi-final. But the credit to your guys, it just didn't faze them.
Not one bit. You know, straight after the meeting on Monday, we were. I can't concentrate. We were straight on the group chat. We absolutely believed that we could do a job tonight.
Well, you believed, and it showed. That conviction showed. It really is raining. It is a brilliant display by the Tigers, and wow, you must be so proud because to come 18 points down and to win it by 4.
Just unbelievable, Abby. Like, it's just I can't really put into words how much it means being my hometown club. It's been a long time coming, but I'm so proud of everybody.
Well done, you.
Thank you.
Yeah, tremendous for Simon Stead, clearly overjoyed with the success of his team. He's, as you rightly say, has ridden for the club, he's managed the club now. Still a young man, and I'm sure his enthusiasm will only be increased by nights like this. This is what you live for, particularly at the domestic level. We will run through the presentation for you. Phil Morris, of course, the new CEO of the sport in Great Britain. Chris Louis, the owner of the Ipswich Witches, picks up their medals. Richie Hawkins, next up the team manager, likewise has been part and parcel at the helm for some time. And this team generally, as I said before, Ollie, they have done a really good, they got off to a difficult start, but they showed great resolve to get into the playoffs. They turned their season around.
Yeah, they did, and they didn't give up. You know, they fought until the end of the season, and up until the last week, it didn't look like they were going to make it, and Leicester slipped up, and they managed to sneak in, and then they've gone and made it to the final and took it to the last race of the final. So I think if you were to offer them this at the start of the year, they would have taken it, but it will certainly sting tonight after having a lead like that coming into the final.
Indeed it will. Jason Doyle, Emil Seifutenhoff, what a season he's had. He has been the #1 man in Britain, there's no doubt about that. Danny King, great to see him up and about after that nasty fall earlier on, but they're the runners-up here tonight in 2023. And, a good team. I'd like to think that they can retain majority of those for next year. We'll wait and see. Decisions to be made moving forward, that's for sure. The rain is actually coming down rather hard now. They look a little bit uncomfortable in the rain. But look at that. I mean, hasn't been very kind to us this evening. But now the winners. What a moment it is for them. They won't care about the rain. Simon Stead, Damien Bates, Mark Bates are the management team here. Here comes Damien now forward. As I say, he'll be absolutely overjoyed with this. It's a special moment for him, isn't it?
Yeah, a huge result, and for the club, you know, it's been, they've never won this championship before, so massive result for them.
And a very special moment for that man and the youngster, Simon Stead with his boy there. Brilliant, fantastic, and nobody's left. I mean, it really is just a smashing moment for the whole team. Jai Etheridge has done a really good job coming in. Clearly delighted with that. Hasn't been riding in the Premiership this year. Chris Bomber-Harris, well, he'll ride anywhere, any time, and in any conditions. And he's done a remarkable job. Robert Lambert, likewise, was superb for the Aces last year. Has done a very similar job for the Tigers at the back end of the season. But Josh Pickering, certainly a fan favourite as well.
Yeah, he's all action, isn't he? You know, when he's on track, you have to keep your eyes on him. His track suits the way he rides, and I certainly would be surprised to see him back in Sheffield colours next year.
Chris Holder clearly delighted with that, with his return to the sport. As I say, he only picks up a couple of points on Tuesday, but he's put that right tonight with a stunning display once again. Jason Edwards there, superb stuff. And, smiles all round, rightly so. As I said before, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. This is hard yards over 6 months, it really is. And Carl Howarth, of course, the captain, who will now lift the trophy for that very special moment. Sheffield Tigers, champions in 2023. Premiership champions for the very first time at the highest level. Fabulous scenes. Pouring rain, but that's not dampening their spirits tonight. I do hope the celebrations go long into the night, I really do. I sense they will do. Disappointment last year. They've come back and done the business tonight. Great feeling for those guys.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. You know, what a way to end the season. You can see Damien Bates there with the champagne, all the boys with it now, and yeah, great way to celebrate and end the season.
Fantastic scenes now for Carl Howarth. You can just see that. Really brilliant. He is so chuffed to bits and proud to be the leader of this team. Superb scenes. Many congratulations to the Sheffield Tigers. A superb effort tonight, and they are deserved winners in the end. But for the moment,
Let's get back down to Abby.
We have come into the dry because it really is teeming down. I know. What a night of Speedway, and for the Tigers to put in that kind of dominant display where they could easily have come, you know, and it'd been too big a task.
It could have been, you know, and sometimes when you've got such an uphill task like that, it just, yeah, I'm joking on that. It just brings out the best in people, and I've got to be honest, I didn't think before the meeting, I didn't think they would do it. I thought the momentum was with Ipswich. I thought they had it under control. 18 points, that's an awfully big lead, but you know what? The dogged spirit of the Tigers, they had the eye of the tiger, they dug in, didn't let track conditions phase them. You know, Emil and Jason got off to a slow start, they came good later on, but it was too late, and you know, I feel for Ipswich. You know, it's a fairy tale. They sort of snuck in by the skin of their teeth, took full advantage of it, but just didn't quite seal the deal. But whatever happens, you know, what an advert for British Speedway.
Yeah, you did think coming into tonight that fairy tale was going to be Ipswich Witches. There was a general feeling around the place that maybe this was their year after 25 years to do the double again. But for Sheffield Tigers, when they got those heat advantages, you know, I think it was 4 heat advantages in the first 5 heats, it then kind of bred confidence throughout the camp, and suddenly the energy around them was they were just coming out and they were telling each other what to do. They were just pumping fists, and you just saw in contrast it just start to slip away from
momentum
Witches.
shifts, it does, and you know, it's such a tight pit space in here. For the riders it's tough because the Ipswich boys literally right beside us, Sheffield are here. The Ipswich boys will see that, and it's kind of makes you more frustrated. You can't start going inward instead of that's when you need to come as a team. But it's so quick, it's so fast-paced. Tonight we were pushing through because of the rain. Like you said, the Sheffield Tigers, they bred confidence, they worked as a unit, it inspired them, and the Witches started to kind of disjoint a little bit. I'm not knocking them, it's what happens at Speedway. Power shifts, momentum went with the Tigers, and they took the glory.
But at one stage it looked like it could go down to a superheat.
It did. At one stage it looked like Jason Doyle was going to end up on the M1. I mean, my God, what a, you know, he's got some steel, that guy. I mean, what a race. But it shows how much he wanted, how much all of the boys, and you know, it would have been exciting if we'd have had a superheat. But look, Speedway's the winner tonight. You know, Sheffield came so close last year. That must have been a momentum shifter for them this year. Ipswich, look, they shouldn't have really been in this competition, so fair play to them.
Well, as we wait for Calvin Tatum to come from the commentating booth and come down and join us, I just want to remind you of the other motorsport that is coming your way. It includes the Motocross World Championship, the Motocross of Nations. It's on Eurosport 2 on Sunday at midday. MotoGP, they're in Indonesia for round 15. Big news there that Marc Marquez will be leaving Honda after 11 seasons, and you can catch that coverage 13th to the 15th of October. The British Superbikes, it's the final round for them, and they'll be in Brands Hatch the 14th and 15th of October. And then for the World Superbikes, also their final round, and they're in Jerez, and that's the 27th to the 29th of October. Mr. Tatum is about to join us in just a moment's time, but really quite extraordinary. There are still fans here, even though it is bucketing down, but rightly so. They've never won this title at the top flight level, and their boys have, well, they've just done them proud tonight because it was such an effort, and from 1 to 7, and from so many guests as well. Jai Etheridge, I mean, what a performance he put in as well.
He did, you know, when it comes to the playoff final, everybody knows what's at stake, that they just put it on the line. But, you know, they did exceptionally well because a massive part of this, we spoke about just now as being a team and uniting as a team, and they had guests coming in and going, and Ipswich have pretty much had the same 1 to 7. So there's a lot to be said for that, credit to them for that. But also, you get that gelness between the team. The riders get to know each other, understand each other. Really thought that was going to be their trump card, but sad it wasn't to be.
Calvin, welcome. What a night.
What a night indeed. It was extraordinary stuff. I don't think many people believed it was going to happen. It was deja vu, really, with the Witches allowing that lead to slip away. But credit to the home team. Dreadful conditions, the rain coming down. I think ordinarily the meeting would have been called. A regular league match that would not have continued. Certainly at Heat 10 it could well have been called off. But fair play to all concerned in that regard. But Sheffield Tigers champions for the first time. Yeah. Extraordinary.
And you feel like the celebrations will go on right into the early hours.
Yeah, I think for several days.
A few sore heads in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was nobody at work on a Friday.
But we were saying, you know, it's just such a wonderful story for Ipswich Witches. It just wasn't their night. Emil and Jason Doyle came good, but the momentum had shifted to the Tigers' favours before that.
I thought momentarily the 5-1 in Heat 13 might just be the key to it. I just sense that, but then Josh Pickering coming out in Heat 14 doing the business once again. But then even so, when you've got riders like Saifutinov and Doyle in Heat 15, they must have still had some belief.
Yeah, 100%. They were desperate to go to that super heat, which would have been amazing for us. But I mean, saw what Jason Doyle done Heat 13. God, I had my telestrator and I could freeze frame, and I've got some photos. I mean, how he stayed on that bike, I do not know.
Remarkable.
And just shows how much they want it.
Yeah, they did.
So you took photos of that. I took video coverage of Carl Howarth watching Heat 15 by the monitor, and he was going absolutely crazy, just jumping up and down on the spot, and there was something quite wonderful about seeing that.
Yeah, and it's special for Kyle because, you know, he's not a superstar of the side, but he's rock solid. Been part of this team for a long time. He's led the team. He's the only ever-present rider this year. He's the only guy that started this season.
That's quite something, isn't it?
That is quite extraordinary in itself. So, you know, I'm sure he's immensely proud tonight.
Highlights then of the overall season, Scotty?
Well, I mean, Ipswich have been part of both. I mean, Heat 15 at Bellevue last week for Ipswich to get into this, and then in Heat 13 tonight. I mean, man live, and both times Jason Doyle and Emil Saifutinov are involved in that.
Can't disagree with that. I'll have to, you know, it's spot on. Heat 15, an extraordinary race, possibly the race of the decade, as I said earlier on. And Heat 13, Doyle staying on and keeping them alive. Those two races stand out.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for your coverage. Well, Sheffield Tigers, they have roared to their very first title at the highest level, and they are your Sports Insure Premiership champions of 2023. And we're going to do it all again next year. See you then.